once again. We're here today, as you know already. This is Assalam Communications. The man before you today is still your man, Al-Hassan Hamza Seidu. My friends call me Hamzology. That is the Hamzology. What is Hamzology for you? If you like, you can call me the Humble Noble Joker. And today, we are going to be talking about marriage. We have to know what is marriage. Then we will go into it, so that we will know marriage before we now go into today. I'm here with one of our sheikhs, and I will mention his name. When we get to him, he will tell us who he is, and we will kick start. Not waste your time. It's still Assalam Communications. Try, subscribe, share, like, and then comment. Inshallah. Let's go to our brother. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Yeah, Alhamdulillah. To start with, I think my audience would like to know who is before them today.
Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Lahu alhamdul hasan wa sana'u al-jameel. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wahdahu la sharika lah. Yaqulu al-haqqa wa huwa yahdi as-sabil. وأشهد أن سيدنا نبينا محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وعلى آله وأصحابه ومن تبعهم بإحسان إلى يوم الدين أما بعد. Praise Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for granting us this time. May Almighty Allah make it easy for us. We ask Almighty Allah to make it easy for us to say whatever that is right. And may Almighty Allah also guide us through this sitting. I am Abdurazak Adam Muhammad. The people call me Alaji, but my name is Abdurazak Adam Muhammad. But he addressed me as Sheikh. I am a student of knowledge. That is also a point for us to understand.
MashaAllah.
We are just a minor student of knowledge, level A. Alhamdulillah. May Allah give you your station, your network, and Basira, guidance, and help throughout. May Allah make it easy for us.
Now, Alhamdulillah, let's start. First thing first, we would like you to tell us in a minute time, let us know what is marriage. What is it?
Alhamdulillah, that is a great ni'mah and blessings that Allah has given to Muslims and human beings in general.
MashaAllah.
Even though some people do not obey Almighty Allah in that particular ni'mah, and people also even deny it. So because of that, I want to just start with a verse of the Quran. Almighty Allah said, Nisa'ukum harsul lakum fa'atu harsakum annas si'tum. Almighty Allah said in this ayah that your wives or your women, your females, they are a till for you. That means they are a garden for you. When you have your land, your fertile land, you need to cultivate, you harvest with abundant harvest. So they are like that for us. And that means that we are, Allah made them permissible for us, but with the ruling. That is for those who are, Allah said, Fa'tu harsakum and si'tu, that go and cultivate on your land however you wish. So that is a permission given, but it is not in a forceful manner. It is something that Allah has. So marriage, as it is known, is a union between a male and female that are from different origin, that there's a different parents. That is just a union between that, and there are restrictions that Almighty Allah has given to you. You cannot just marry anybody. There are those that Almighty Allah prohibit us from marrying, and we are to marry within the one that Almighty Allah did not prohibit. Whatever that is left, that is not within the prohibition, and that is permissible. So the union between male and female, and every culture have a definition for it. But what naturally Almighty Allah made us to know of marriage is a male and female. There's nothing like marriage. Before this, I also went through some books and some cultures we don't have accept the concept of that came that is not through the natural means. That is, when you say married, they are dealing with only male and female. And male cannot marry male, and female cannot marry female. So that is what we consider okay.
MashaAllah. Okay, just like our Sheikh just made mention, marriage is between a man and a woman. And he made mention that there should not be force into it. MashaAllah, there should not be force into it. That is the key word I just like in his explanation. MashaAllah. And now let's go in. So what are the futures of marriage?
The features of marriage, we are talking about Islamic marriage here.
MashaAllah.
Then inshallah, so before I will give, I'll go ahead, we will give the technical definition of marriage. We just mentioned that it's a union between male and female.
Okay.
But Islamically, a nikah or marriage, it is an agreement, a contract agreement between a male and female,
Okay.
where the Sharia made it permissible for them to live together and have intimacy.
Okay.
That's the technical definition.
Okay.
So you ask of the features of marriage.
Now,
Features of marriage, if I understood from what you said, the features is the things that make up marriage.
MashaAllah.
Yes, the Sharia gave us some conditions.
Okay.
That is part of it. The features of marriage is the conditions, or we call it preconditions of marriage. But you can just say the conditions of marriage, then the pillars of marriage, then the recommended acts of marriage,
MashaAllah.
and then the prohibited acts of marriage. These all make up what is called marriage.
Okay.
Now, first of all, the conditions of marriage, the males and female must be specified. That's the conditions. One of them. The first one is the male and female must be specified. That means who is marrying who.
Okay.
The male should be known and the female should be known. You don't just get up and go to a particular man. You want your daughter to marry to our son, or I am coming to propose for my daughter for marriage.
Okay.
You are known specifically,
Okay.
but the daughter, if the person have a number of daughters, they start to be specified. That's one. Number two is that the two of them must be, meaning they must consent to the marriage.
Meaning they should
The
accept.
male and female, all of the two of them, both of them must accept that they want to marry.
MashaAllah.
They agree to the marriage.
Meaning they should accept each other.
Accept each other
MashaAllah.
to get married.
Okay.
Then the third is the lady should have a wife who will who will be in charge of monitoring and supervising the marriage. Meaning, because in Islamic marriage, the lady do not take herself and give to the man.
MashaAllah.
So she has to have a guardian or what we call the wali.
No.
The wali is either the father or somebody in place of the father.
Father.
He will now tell, when you get to the marriage, then he will now say, I have proposed my daughter to you, and then the man also, the spouse will also say, I accept. That's when we get to the pillars.
MashaAllah.
Well, before we get that, then the next pillar, the next condition is also you have to have two witnesses
Okay.
for the marriage contract. That is the fourth or the third condition. Then we also have the lady should be given the mahar.
Okay.
Alhamdulillah, mashallah, like I was saying, the conditions of marriage, and we got to the point where we mentioned that the lady must be given an amount or anything that is valuable.
Okay.
That is called the mahar or the sadaq.
Okay.
Is a valuable thing that is given, the man gives to the woman.
Man. Okay.
And this one too is also part of the conditions. If that one is not there, then they will not be married.
Okay.
Now these are the conditions. Now other features are the pillars. The pillars are two only, which is done at the time of marriage.
Marriage. Okay.
That is the man, the husband to be, and then the wali to the woman says that, oh, I have given you this, our daughter or our sister or our so and so in hand for marriage. Then the man says, I accept. That is the pillars.
Okay.
Once that is done, then we now move on to the other features, which is the recommended act.
No.
As soon as the man says that I have given you my daughter and then he accepted it,
Accept.
then somebody will get up and make what we call khutbah.
Okay.
The khutbah is a sermon, more or less like a sermon,
Okay.
that is delivered at the point of giving a woman for marriage. That is the actual marriage.
Okay.
So the person will just glorify Almighty Allah, praise Almighty Allah, and then recite some verses from the Quran, which the Prophet ﷺ has not given it to us, and we know it that it is famous for within the Muslim Ummah. That you start from the beginning to the end, and then you continue with dua, meaning you pray for the two couples, and then you also advise people who are present, if there are males or females who were gathered at that particular point in time to marry.
Okay.
Then the things that are recommended, that are prohibited, or so those ones are also spelled out.
Okay.
Even educated people are educated, like you give advice to the husband that a woman is this and you should handle her like that. These are your responsibilities. These are the obligations that you have to fulfill in the marriage. Inshallah.
Okay, mashallah. Our Sheikh has just taken us through the futures of marriage, and we have heard him very, very well. Now, let's continue. Let me go back to him once again so that we'll get more knowledge about that. Yes, we've been hearing of this something we call lefe.
Okay.
So when you were just mentioning the futures, I was just waiting to hear that. I've not heard that.
Even though it is not all the features that I mentioned,
Okay.
but lefe is not part. Another important one that I didn't mention is the wali, which is people gather people for a party.
Okay.
So that one is recommended.
Okay.
But the lefe is a concept that is not known in Islam.
Okay.
Islam we don't have that thing, but it's just a cultural thing within us here in
Okay.
Ghana,
Okay.
in some part of West
Africa.
Africa.
Okay.
But there are other cultures who also they have, but in a different version. But this is culture. There's no Islamic
Basis
for that. We don't have anywhere in the books of marriage, or either in the Quran or from the Hadith,
Okay.
the authentic report from the Prophet ﷺ,
No.
that they mention that before you get married, you have to buy. And the thing, in short, is clothing that you buy, or certain item that you must buy, and the man must buy to give to the female, the woman, before they marry. And it is not the same for every culture. Some cultures, it is the woman family who is to do that.
Wow.
Yes, and some families, it is the man side who.
That would be much.
But in Ghana here, is the man side who does it for the woman. But we know that a woman needs to get some items that will make her a woman in a house.
Mashallah.
But that one, the husband already knows.
Okay.
That's a responsibility
Okay.
to fulfill those ones. But it's not part of the pre-marriage contract.
Okay. Yeah, I've heard that people are complaining that the reason why those things are being given to the men to buy is so men would bring the woman to the house and wouldn't care to do those things. So in Islam, how does a man supposed to take care of the wife after marriage?
This is because of the ignorance of the responsibility of the man to the woman.
Okay.
That is why most people do not take that. But if you look at the current trend, we think that is the lefe concept is something that is going to help the woman to have things once you get there. Even the man is normal, the man will be responsible to give that particular one to be able to buy. But if he goes and doesn't have it, but let's look at it. The lefe is mostly material things, of which some of them are not even needed in marriage, or some of them are even extravagance in marriage.
Okay.
But what the consequences in this is that the male, because of this concept, the male will be forced to go to even borrow or to accumulate years of his life,
His wealth.
to accumulate some wealth for that purpose.
Wow.
Once he uses it, and they will kill it one day, or spend it one day, and now after the marriage, the two of them are sitting and they are lacking
That's serious.
things that will survive them. And that one will come with anger and frustration.
Yeah.
Both of them will be accusing each other, and that one can even lead to. So the only thing is that we should teach and educate the men and women alike. That all of us will understand that a man's responsibility, that's why the Prophet ﷺ said, Ya ma'shar al-shabab, O you the young ones, then marry if you are capable.
Okay.
So that means you have to try to get a trade that is going to be sustainable, that you can take care of a woman before you go in for marriage. Once you have that, if the woman wants a bowl, if she wants a basin, if she wants any basic thing that she needs in the house, you'll be able to get it for her.
Right. Okay.
So, but if you say they have to buy this, and they will buy it, and then it will not
Be used.
be used. Some of them will just come and just pack it. So those things are things that are not helping marriage. So we know the responsibility of a man is to, number one, feed the woman. It's a must that a man should feed the woman. That one is a must. Number two, it's a must that he give a woman place to sleep. Number three, the woman must also be clothed by the man.
Okay.
Okay. So these ones are compulsory. So the man will ensure that these things are done. So once the man knows that it's his responsibility, if he doesn't do that, what Almighty Allah is going to punish him for that. So he will strive, if he's God-fearing, he will strive his effort to fulfill that, so that he will be free from the punishment or the wrath of Allah will visit him. It will even be either in this world or in the grave or in the hereafter.
MashaAllah.
Ameen.
Ameen, Ya Rabbi. We are very, very grateful for what our Malam has just given to us today. Yes, we shall go back to him for his give him one last question, after which we'll get something small from him before we leave. Yeah, I think for now, what advice, because we saw that many of our ladies don't even want to go into marriage because of this levy thing.
Yeah.
And mostly they don't want to also go into marriage because of sometimes they look at the man's room, what is in the man's room, what does the man have, and all those things. So now, what advice do you have for the youth in terms of those that aspect?
Alhamdulillah. The advice we have to the youth is that we the youth, we look at outward. We want to see things that are outward, and that is what Almighty Allah said. All that we see in this particular world is deception.
Okay.
Now we see somebody, and we also want to compete with each other.
No.
That is not halal. It's not the halal way of competing. We are doing it the wrong way.
Okay.
The wrong way is that you want to have what another person has, when you don't do the same way.
The same way. Okay.
You want to have this particular person, what you want to let your marriage be like another person, or
This
be more than that. Then this type of competition is not healthy.
Okay.
So you should live within your means. Almighty Allah said in the Quran that the man who is taking care of the woman, and he has to do it according to the means that he has.
Yeah. Okay.
So we do that. If I don't have, I should not compare my marriage to another person. So the advice is that we should know that we are not the same.
Okay.
Each and everyone, we are all individual, unique individuals
Okay.
with different capabilities.
Okay.
And our provisions that Almighty Allah has given to us or decreed for us are different. So the best is for us to say, number one, stay away from competitions or unhealthy competitions.
Okay.
Number two, stay away. We should not. It's not all that glitters that is good.
Okay.
Whatever you see is not, and we should also understand that whatever that we see currently is not also permanent.
Okay.
So something that is to the future, somebody who hasn't gotten anything today, tomorrow the person can
get
have it.
no.
Once those things are into the future, leave it in the hands of Allah. Pray to Almighty Allah.
No.
Almighty Allah will grant you success
Okay.
in the future. And that we should know that marriage is something that the Sharia has made obligatory.
No.
Some people say it's not obligatory, but the evidences that shows to it being obligatory is more than the one that makes it permissible.
Okay.
But just that Almighty Allah do not make it obligatory unconditionally.
No.
What Almighty Allah made it obligatory
With
based
conditions.
with conditions.
Okay.
There are some people it's even haram, prohibited
For them to marry.
for them to marry.
No.
So once you made it obligatory and made it unrestricted, then that means that it violates certain rules. Because Almighty we see in history that even some prophets do not marry.
Okay.
We see in history some men do not even marry among the companions of the prophet.
No.
some noble people. And even there are some people, scholars, great scholars, that did not marry. And they are the people who even gathered the reports that some of us are studying and we are going through them. So what they understood from it is that there are certain things that each and every one in your life, you can choose the path that you want to take. The ways to worship Almighty Allah are many. Somebody can use only one side and he will be successful, and Almighty Allah will help him too. So once it is that way, we advise each and everyone who is having means to quickly go and marry. And then I would also advise that most of the problems comes from our parents, who, especially our mothers and our aunties and our sisters, who whenever there is marriage, they comes around and want to let it be,
to straighten things,
let it be complicated than the one that we have seen before. Anybody. And the other thing is that we are talking and the non-Muslims, of which that is one of the serious sickness that we need to deal with. So anybody who want to go into marriage, the blessings of the marriage is not coming from the marriage feast. It's coming from the marriage life entirely. May Almighty Allah make it easy for us. May Almighty Allah solve our marital issues. May Almighty Allah make it easy for those who haven't gotten married. Also get the means of getting into it. Inshallah. All of those who are already in, may Almighty Allah put barakah in them.
MashaAllah. Alhamdulillah. This is where we are going to end our interview with our Sheikh today. And inshallah, we shall come back again, because you see that getting to your life, in your last way, you made mention some ways of which we want to know deep into it. Yeah, inshallah, we shall come back again, and then so that our audience will all benefit from the knowledge Allah has bestowed on you. MashaAllah, that is where we are going to stop. Please try, subscribe, like, and share, so that inshallah we shall move this our conversation long, and we shall all benefit from all that we are doing today here. Yes, it's still your man Al-Hassan Hamza Sin is my name, as you know. My friends call me Hamzology, and that is the Hamzology. Well, that's Hamzology for you. I say thank you. I greet my people. My the lighting man is over there, Basharuddin. Inshallah, may Allah bless you. My cameraman Abdullahi Abdul Latif, aka Min Chairman. MashaAllah, may Allah bless you. Inshallah, this is where we are going to put end to our conversation for today. It's still As-Salam Communication, and we leave you with the greetings of the inhabitants of Jannah, which is, and I quote, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh.